Today we are taking a look at a new 450 size frame kit. Now it's been a long time since I've done anything like this on the channel. However, a company called Hexsoon have recently released a number of new frames onto the market, including this one here, which is a 450 frame kit that includes motors and everything other than the autopilot and electronics that you need to build yourself a drone. Now this frame kit, the 450 one especially, is really designed for hobby users, educational users, or anyone who wants to build themselves a testbed platform. Whilst it could be used to build itself a camera drone, really this day and age these kind of kits are more designed for testing and self-building, not out and out camera drone use. Now these models from Hexsoon, whether it be this 450, and they do make larger ones as well, they're all designed to be used with the Cube series of autopilots. If you don't know what the Cube is, that includes the Cube Black, which is the old Pixhawk 2.1. This kit we're going to be building up with a Cube Orange, and we're also going to be using it with the Link as well. Now what I'm going to do in this video is unbox it first, give you an overview of what you actually get in the kit, because I haven't opened it myself yet. I have no idea. It's still absolutely sealed. We'll then walk you through some of the things we had to do to assemble it. I'm not going to do an out and out assemble guide, but I will walk you through some of the interesting points that I think there are, and then we'll show you it all built up, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now this frame was very kindly sent to me by Ben over at 3DXR in the UK. If you don't know who 3DXR are, they're a fantastic dealer in the UK that sells not only everything to do with the Cube Autopilot series, but pretty much anything you will need to build yourself an aircraft, whether it be an autopilot flight controller, radios, absolutely everything you need is available on their store. I will put a link to them in the description of this video. Please do check it out if you're interested in getting one of these frames, or you're interested in getting any of the other equipment you'll see in this video, or anything else you need for your drone, fixed wing, or even ground-based vehicle. Anyway, let's get on with this video. Let's jump in the box and see what's included. Okay, so let's get this open and have a look at what's included. Now, I haven't opened it myself yet, as I've already said. It comes completely sealed. If I just show you on the front of the box, obviously it just shows you the frame kit. On the side, you have some more info there. And then you've got the Hexsoon website located there on the top. If I jump to the actual overhead, you can see these things a little bit better. Now, on the back, if we rotate it round, you can see they show you what you actually get in the kit. So this box includes 4 motors, propellers, landing gear set, arm mounting kit, teardrop arms, motor mount set, 4 ESCs, wiring bag, top plate, bottom plate, and power distribution board. So it has all of the basics other than the autopilot and battery itself. So there is quite a bit included with this kit as standard. Now let's jump in and actually have a look, because I've not, as I said, I have no idea how this is all laid out, and then I'll give you my thoughts as we're getting into it. I can tell you the cellophane wrapping is very good. Let's just get rid of that. If we open the lid, okay, so what do we find in here? We have a printed set of instructions, which is the assembly instructions, which shows us what you got and what's needed. That's just one-sided, so there's nothing else on there. On the top, we have our carbon fiber frame plates, which are nicely cut out. They look real nice. Carbon cutting is nice. I'm not sure what thickness they are. We'll check that in a minute. That's our top and bottom plates. Obviously, lots of mounting holes. That's the first thing we do notice. We then clearly have a piece of foam. We don't need that. Ooh, we've got a Matex Systems power hub. So that's included as standard with the kit. So that's the mini power hub with 5 volt and 12 volt BEC. Very nice indeed. We can clearly have a lot of wiring. We've got our tubes. Now the tubes on this frame are quite unique because they're not round, they're teardrop shaped. So that's obviously to give additional strength in the arms. So if I show on that camera down that way there, you can see. And then, yeah, that's real nice. And that's the main tubes for the arm itself. We've then got we've got a GPS mount, wiring and connections, lots of nuts and bolts, our 4 ESCs, no labels on them other than ABC, which is just directional labels for putting them together, but they're all included in the pack. We've got our 4 motors located down here. Now the motors are labelled A2216 880 kV, and these are made, from the looks of it, by TMotor. Hexsoon custom. So they look like they're TMotor motors customized for Hexsoon. Very nice indeed. I'll put some more close-ups of these in a minute as you're looking at this. As I'm recording it now, I'll add some stuff, some B-roll over the top for you. Very nice, like the look of them. So obviously we've got 4 of them. So let's get all of them out of the way. As I've said, we've got our 4 arms. So let's lift them out, and ooh, that's a landing leg, I assume, included in this. We'll pop him in, and that's in the arm. Let's put them over here. We've got a card from Hexsoon themselves. Want to know more? Go to their official website. Very nice. Let's get the other 2 landing legs. It's nice to see landing legs on these. This must be lower landing legs, these ones. So we've got the higher landing legs, which are these, and you've got lower landing legs here, I assume. So you can have it higher off the deck or lower off the deck, depending on what you want to do. So we've got 4 of them. Let's drop them out of the way. Let's get the other 2 carbon arms out with the 4th leg. We've got propellers. We'll take a look at them in a second. And then we've got the rest of the mounting gear for mounting the arms to the frame. So you've got 1, 2, 3 of 4 of them, and they're different. So you've got these, you've got these 2, which are the same. So there's 2 orange and 2 black ones of these, which are obviously for mounting that to the frame. And then we've got 2 orange and 2 black of these. So these are the motor mounts, I should say. That's what they look like. I'd say they're the motor mounts. I suspect if we just take that and that, does that fit? So it'd help if I chose the right colour, wouldn't it? Does that fit over that? No. Perhaps that is. No, I would say that is that. Obviously, I'm doing this blind at the moment. Okay. I'm guessing that replaces that. Sorry. Me being a bit silly. We'll look at that as we go through. That's the other 2 of them. We've got a battery straps, which is nice. And then obviously we've just got our propellers. Let me just shift the box out the way. If we open these up. And these are nice. These remind me of the old Phantom propellers. They're not carbon fibre. They are, I'd say, plastic or plastic composite. I'd say plastic, not composite. They're a bit stiffer. You tend to find the composite propellers are a bit harder. They don't bend as much, whereas these do have a bit of flex to them. And then they've got the thread mount. And what's nice is when you look at them on the top, you've got black or silver inserts, which tell us which ones they go on. And then if we look at the motors, if I just show you the tops of the motors, we've got black or silver inserts on the top of the motors, which then tell us which props go where. And then these should simply just screw on and lock on nice and straightforward. Now, I don't know, is that the same thread as we used to get on the Phantoms? Let me just have a look. I will have some down here. This should... I don't know if it's an old Phantom prop. I don't know if it's the same thread or not. Doesn't feel it. No. No, that doesn't want to go. So it does seem to be a different thread. It's not the same one overall. But really, that's everything that's included in the kit. Now, if we just take a bit of a closer look at a couple of the bits in more detail. So, just popping the propellers up there. So, we have, as I've said, so we've got long legs and what appears to be short legs. So, you've got them to choose depending on which way you want to set your frame up. So, you can have your height either off the ground of that, and again it depends. You could have a sensor below it. You could use this as a camera drone without any problems at all if you wanted to mount a GoPro or something else like that. So you've got those leg sizes. We've then got our carbon fiber tubes, which is again that unique shape and size, very unique with that teardrop design, and they will then just slot in. Now obviously this is all bolted up, so they're not just going to go in yet, but they will go in, and that's going to give us obviously our 450 length on the arms, and they are absolutely solid, no movement in them whatsoever, so that's real nice as well. We've got our other plates. Now if we just take a look at what the instructions say on this, so we've got our motor mount, so you mount the motors to the mounts, then you either choose the tall or the short leg, as I was saying earlier, for both sides. Then you go for the mountings onto the frame in the center, and yeah, that all looks fairly straightforward, nothing particularly difficult there. Now what's interesting is because these are TMotor motors, and we'll go in and just take a look at these a bit closer now in a second. I'm wondering if these are TMotor ESCs as well. There's no label. If I just drop that back, no, there's nothing under there. But the fact that they're using TMotor motors would make me think we'd possibly have TMotor ESCs in here as well. Nothing guaranteed, but it's nice to see that there's some really nice high quality components with this, you know, TMotor motors especially. The ESCs have that sticker on, which make it nice and easy for setting up ABC plus and minus. And then we've got our PWM input, and there's no BEC on these, so they're optos most likely, but there's no BEC. And then really it's just all that hardware as I showed you earlier, and they give you, it's nice to see all of the little connections on there as well. Nice to have another GPS antenna mount. You don't get many of them these days. And again, as I've said, they've used that power distribution board, which is the Maytech power distribution board, power hub, mini power hub, camera and VTX hub, 5 volt 3 amp, 12 volt 2 amp, 2 ounce copper 4-layer board. So yeah, nice high quality piece of kit. You've got your 5 volt output, you've got your ESC power, you've got your batteries, you've got your battery pads, and then your ESC pads for the power as well. So that should make setting up nice and straightforward. Yeah, all looks good. Right, next thing we're going to do is start assembling this, getting it together. We'll walk you through some of the bits as we do it. I might just record it and do it as a high speed. I haven't quite decided at this point. Whichever way I do it, we'll show you some bits, and then we'll jump to the finished article at the end. Okay, so just before I jump in the assembly, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to be using this, my trusty screwdriver from Tarot. Now, if you haven't seen this, I got this from Ben at 3DXR as well. He very kindly gave me this, and it's a fantastic bit of kit. If you're ever building anything up, it's got all the heads, it's got Phillips, it's got straights, all kept in the handle nice and straightforward. And then you just pick the head you want depending on the screws, drop it in, screw it down tight, and it's just nice to have everything all in one place, because if you're anything like me, I'm always losing bits. It's happening all the time. So and this is like my #1 tool for building aircraft and drones. So if you haven't got one, consider getting yourself one. Really handy bit of kit. Anyway, let's get on with getting this built. Okay, so as you can see, the frame is fully built up. Now I'll put up some B-roll just so you can have a closer look at how it's come out overall. I have to say, putting this frame together is very straightforward. It's really no more difficult than an F450 from DJI or any of the others. There is a few extra bits and a few little things you need to be careful of, but the overall assembly is nice and easy. Now, talking about the quality of the frame, first of all, it's really nice and solid. If I push down on the center there is zero movement at all. Because it's got these teardrop shaped arms as well, there's literally zero movement when you try to twist. And it is one of the strongest small frames I think I've ever had my hands on. Absolutely solid, no concerns with it whatsoever. The nice size plates in the middle are good, nice and large, and there's a nice gap between these plates as well, which means you can put an autopilot between the plates if you want to, but I'm going to be putting mine on top. But it is a nice and plenty of clearance there in the middle too. Now, with regards to the assembly and just some comments on that, really, as I said, it is straightforward. There's just one or two little things you need to be aware of. The first is making sure that you get your motors the right way around on the end blocks, because these blocks only go on one way because the hole is smaller on the outside than it is the inside, to allow the tube to stop going straight through and press up against it. For me, obviously, I've got the design with the wires coming out, folded in, and they are folding into the ESC. So if I withdraw that there, you can see that the ESC then is inside the arm, goes right through to the middle of the frame, and it just gives a nice clean build to the aircraft without having any wires or having anything taped to the arms itself. So when you are building it, do make sure that you do get that the right way round. If you'd have seen when I was doing my build log, I actually used the piece of cardboard that came with the frame to hold the motors upside down as I was fitting the blocks on. Nice and easy. Once that was done, it was then just fit it onto the legs. Now, it is also nice that they include two sizes of legs. You've got the smaller ones, which are these ones here, which would give you that height, or you've got these longer ones, which is quite nice and keeps the frame up off the deck. For me, I wanted that bit of extra height because I am going to be hanging some stuff off the bottom of this frame as well as time goes on. But it is nice that they do give you the multiple options. About the only other thing I will mention really is when you're doing the blocks in the middle, you've got the two orange and the two blacks. Just make sure you do have them the right way round because they only go one way. They can't go the opposite way. You've got those little notches in the carbon fibre plate with the actual plastic lugs go through, and you do just need to make sure that you've pushed the tube all the way in before bolting it up. Now, I have bolted this thing up nice and completely tight now, but I am going to have to separate it again to do some work on the inside because I've got to get in that power board as well as some other stuff in there too. Now, my plan for this frame build is to turn this into my main Ardupilot test copter. It's going to be having a cube orange. It's going to have some custom other parts on it. We're going to do some 3D printed parts, which we'll talk about in other videos for the XT60 and stuff. And then we're going to be doing some tests on things like LiDAR on this, as well as some other stuff over the next weeks and months as well. We're going to put a Here link onto it too. So this, for me, is going to be my testbed platform moving forward. If you're looking for a platform to build upon, something to test with or education purposes, or you're building something as a development platform, this is well worth a look because, as I said, it's a nice mid-size frame, 450 in size, and it is absolutely solid. It's nice. It's got those high quality TMotor motors as well. As I said, there's no labeling on the ESCs, but I would guess they might be TMotor, but no guarantees. But the motors do feel nice and solid, absolute quality there, and I got no concerns with them with regards to longevity either. Now, as I've said, this frame is available from 3DXR in the UK. I will put a link to it in the description of this video as well if you're interested in checking it out. I'll also put a link to Hexsoon's website as well because they have some other frames too. And they have some larger ones. I might try and get my hands on one of the bigger ones too because there is a couple of nice big frames there as well. And there aren't so many frame manufacturers out there anymore that are making nice quality frames, and this certainly feels like one of them to me. So I would be interested in seeing how the other ones pan out. Finally, just again, a big thank you to Ben at 3DXR for sending me this one over. We wouldn't have been able to make this video if he hadn't. Really, for me, the next things are to get the autopilots on, get the GPS and all of the other usual electronics. I'll probably just do a couple of shorter videos on them over the next couple of weeks. and then we'll get to the more interesting stuff around the accessories on the LiDAR and stuff like that too. Anyway, if you found this video interesting, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell next to it as well. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links to buy me a coffee as well as Patreon in the description of this video too. It is only by you guys supporting us so we're able to keep making videos like this. Anyway, please stay safe and I will speak to you guys again soon.